The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer. 6 threes on the night.
A career high in points and 12 dishes. While her rival hid in the shadows, she did not just break rookie records, but shattered all times. But the Sky channeled their inner Draymond Green to stop her.
For 29 points, gets tripped up.
And right from the start, 22 came out swinging, immediately recognizing the missing defender and isolated Aaliyah Smith on an island.
To be more aggressive offensively.
With the Chicago Sky keeping up, Caitlin knew she had to put some more fear in their hearts.
She has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for three, rattles it around for her first deep shot.
But Angel Reese had other plans, determined to keep the 8-12 lead strong.
Will be really important for both of these teams. Allen once again goes back to back.
Her teammate Allen was on fire and had no intention of letting that flame burn out.
Allen baseline look. The last 3 buckets from Lindsay Allen.
Even with Caitlin's wizardry, placing Aaliyah Boston in perfect positions to disrupt the streak didn't change the Sky's plans.
Taking all night.
Caitlin Clark, a dribbling exhibition, finds Boston, double team, all kinds of contact.
And Angel Reese made sure by solidifying that lead into double digits.
Way through, what a pass and a finish. Nice catch there from Angel Reese.
The Fever needed a spark, someone to pull them out of the gutter, and who else but 22.
WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebounds.
But the Sky answered quick, giving the Fever no time to think.
Was you? What does it mean to have those comparisons?
With the score at 24-11 in favor of the Sky, Caitlin knew the Fever had to respond, and fast.
Bro, I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing.
To counter Angel Reese, the Fever made a high IQ move by subbing in their defensive behemoth, Timmy Fagbenle. The shift was immediate.
We're looking for Reese. Fagbenle tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark rips a pass, thread the needle. My goodness, what a play!
In this shift, they closed the lead down to 26-23, fighting their way back. With the first quarter clock winding down, they found themselves with a golden opportunity to tie. However, it became clear that Fagbenle was stretching beyond the imagination.
Caitlin Clark against Dana Evans, 3 on the quarter clock. Fagbenle misses everything.
And this would not be the last time. Despite her defensive dominance, her offensive liabilities would surface.
Find about when she would return. Turnover on the first possession, and the Fever ended the first quarter on a 12-2 run and tried to build.
Luckily for the Fever, Angel Reese was still missing layups, giving Indiana's golden child all the opening needed to start cooking.
On this possession, Loco shot! Loco make for Clark!
Even when Angel Reese put more of her moves on display, Fever's super sub proved to be her kryptonite.
This turn, spinning off her left shoulder and walked with it.
This gave CC the time and space to give some of her sharpshooting lessons on the other end.
The end of the first quarter, Clark again, heating up.
Heating up indeed, showing that 2020 vision.
Fagbenle with a huge block. An absolute wall at the rim leads to that, Eric.
And just like that, it was a close game again. With Caitlin Clark still on fire, the vision didn't end, dishing out assists to her Robin.
She's having the best three-point shooting season of her career, but she can also bang in the paint.
CC ignited a spark, giving Kelsey Mitchell more confidence to let it fly.
5 of 10 right now from behind the arc.
Speaking of, a long shot.
Even with the hot streak, Robin will never be Batman.
Winding down, nearly a shot clock violation for the Sky. Caitlin Clark leaks out, can't get to it.
The Fever pushed their lead up to double digits, 43-33, with Caitlin Clark firmly at the reins. But the Sky were far from backing down.
Stays with it, that's that strength that you admire so much, and finds Panama.
However, 22 gave it no mind, driving without even looking if it went in, silencing Chicago's crowd.
To find a way to get Rachel Banham going, that's one way.
Count the buckets! Caitlin Clark has an and one.
And scoring aside, collecting dimes had become her new hobby, just like they were infinity stones.
He's got 14 in the game. Clark
Hey guys, now right here I was just honestly confused on if I had to take the ball back or I could just lay it up. I had got my head a little bit too much. It was really extremely hot this day, by the way, everybody. Almost 100 degrees again.
And unfortunately, it was just a hobby.
Clark tried that difficult pass.
With the second quarter coming to an end, Angel Reese decided to step out of the shadows with a midi that would make any coach cringe.
Reese along two, drills it.
But it was Caitlin Clark who would have the last laugh.
Shuffle pass to Allen, who looks for Reese again, but Wheeler's in the way, and the Fever leak out Caitlin Clark. A layup drill for her.
Ending the quarter with the Fever leading 47-43. The third quarter, however, started just how the second had finished, with the Splash Girls taking over.
Kelsey Mitchell, 8 assists, 15 points in the first half, looking to add to her tally. Ooh.
The Sky threw everything they had to stop the rainstorm, but their efforts only seemed to make it worse.
That ball screen to create a shot for herself.
Clark with the step back and gets fouled.
Caitlin Clark, cool under pressure, stepped up to the free throw line and sank every single shot, extending the Fever's lead to 54-46. Still in the third quarter, with plenty of time left on the clock, the game remained wide open. Anything could happen, and anything did happen.
Onyenwere drills a three-pointer.
But Caitlin Clark wasn't backing down either. She knew this was a crucial moment, and instead of trying to do it all herself, she trusted in her teammates to finish the job.
Personals, Diamond DeShields has checked in, trying to defend Caitlin Clark. Smith, 1 foot runner.
And with the Sky finishing wide open layups like this, there was nothing left for Caitlin Clark to fear.
Worthwhile to see the reactions of these Fever players getting to meet those two stars.
Except for one player who refused to let the game slip away, the Sky's Black Air Force Warrior.
Inside 2 minutes left in the third, Caitlin Clark has checked back in.
With the threat of injury looming, CC made a strategic decision. Instead of putting herself directly on the front line, she chose to move the pieces on the chessboard. Unfortunately, not every piece was in place.
Oh, Fagbenle.
But the ones that were made her look like a grand master.
Be a guard, but so effective in the paint. And Boston tonight, they've had to work to get to the 9. 38%, but
It was obvious that Temi Fagbenle was unstoppable on defense. Her presence in the paint, acting as a wall against the Sky's offensive efforts. However, as the game wore on, it became increasingly clear that Fagbenle was turning out to be a bit of a one-trick pony.
back to Fagbenle. It's her. Fagbenle, no. Boston, another rebound. Over to Teme, blocked by Cardoso.
Luckily for the Fever, their lead was pretty much secured at 87-71 in the fourth quarter, and most of the offense didn't need help.
Hole in the corner. She's got the last 6 for the Fever.
With a lead like that, Caitlin could have easily sat this one out at this point, but she wasn't about to take a back seat. She was hungry for more.
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer. 6 threes on the night.
With 6 threes on the night, Caitlin Clark was in the zone. The game had slowed down for her, and with the Fever comfortably ahead, she decided to have a little fun, channeling her inner globetrotter.
Eyes up, always looking at the clip behind the back pass. Turnover.
But with the Black Air Force Warrior back on the floor, that fun was immediately shut down.
Here's Clark. For 29 points, gets tripped up.
This would have been enough for Caitlin Clark on the night. 31 points and 12 assists. It marked her 5th game this season with at least 20 points and 10 assists.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
This was the first time the WNBA got truly physical with Caitlin Clark, and it all started against a familiar face, her college rival, Angel Reese. Their first meeting on the big stage had all eyes watching, and Chicago couldn't wait to make their presence felt, setting off a domino effect through the league. But the game didn't start that way. Caitlin Clark came out firing.
Great points.
Clark connects on a deep three.
And it wasn't just her shooting. Clark was finding her teammates too.
To the Commissioner's Cup final. What a dish. Down the floor. Wallace. The finish plus the foul. On a beautiful delivery from Clark.
The Chicago bench was in awe, and the first quarter had her name written all over it.
Understand their impact and what it has done and how they are living out their dreams today.
And right on cue, Clark connects on another bomb. 2 for 2 from 3 in the early.
But after building up a little deficit, not everyone on Chicago's side was sharing the same excitement. So, in true Caitlin fashion, she decided to turn it up even more in the second.
They've allowed too much dribble penetration.
Well, and it allows them, oh, what a dime. My goodness, the pass from Clark to Katie Lou Samuelson for 2. But Rebecca, that's what allows them to...
For Indiana, it was just another game, but for Chicago, it seemed to mean something more. But when things weren't going their way, frustration started to set in. Kennedy Carter, in particular, Chicago's point guard, had no answer defensively.
Gonna have to make something happen. Clark through the lane, reverses it in, and beats the shot clock.
And on offense, she was getting sloppy.
Carter the rebound. Mabry running, can't get to it, and Chicago turns it over.
Frustration kept building, and with Indiana taking control again in the second,
It out to Mitchell. Mitchell long 2 is good.
Chicago was starting to feel the game slipping away. But when the third quarter rolled around, the mood on the court seemed to shift. Chicago came out with a new game plan, doubling Caitlin Clark early, and showing the first signs that they weren't afraid getting handsy. However, Caitlin kept playing her game, even when her own teammates made things a bit tricky at times.
Yes.
Nice entry, and Wallace again blows the layup. The follow is good, though.
But when Caitlin decided to take it to the rim on her own, Dana Evans was right there, refusing to give an inch.
Here's Carter, Evans guarding Clark, and Evans sends Clark to the deck. Foul called on Dana Evans.
On the very next play, Chicago struck again. This time, it was Cardoso.
Chicago had missed their first 8 attempts. Clark races in, is fouled by Cardoso, and Clark in some pain. Caitlin Clark goes down.
This blow forced Caitlin to take a brief break on the bench. Meanwhile, Cardoso kept playing as reckless as ever, hitting backboard and hacking away on D. This wouldn't break the fever. They held onto a 51-47 lead, and with just a minute left in the quarter, Caitlin returned to the court. Kennedy Carter tried to make a quick pass, but it was sloppy. Caitlin pounced, intercepting it with ease. Frustrated by the turnover, Carter chased her down and physically forced the ball back from Clark, but the refs let it slide, and Caitlin was left looking for a whistle that never came. The play continued as Indiana kept possession. Boston found herself under the rim, but her shot clanged off the iron. She even got the putback, but that also missed. Unbelievably, even the third follow-up still didn't go in. This time, 2 Chicago defenders went up, fighting each other for the rebound, leaving the ball momentarily loose. Caitlin saw her chance and swiped it right out of their hands, tapping it back to Boston.
This time, it's good. Aaliyah Boston.
Carter was visibly frustrated, and Caitlin, never one to shy away from the mental game, had a few choice words for her, poking the bear. On the very next play, Carter was out for blood. With just a few seconds left on the clock, she pulled up for a smooth mid-range and drained it, turning to Caitlin. But Carter didn't stop there.
Good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
The wild part? The refs didn't call more than a simple off-the-ball foul, barely acknowledging Carter's shove. Once again, she got away with it. Look at Angel Reese, celebrating like it's a game-winning moment. It's sad when you think that's something to be proud of. It makes you wonder, was this the new standard teams would set when facing Caitlin? Were they seeing just how far they could push the physical play against her, knowing the refs might let it slide?
Did you get any type of understanding from the officials on how you guys are doing that at this point?
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play.
Luckily, Caitlin stayed above it all, sticking to her game plan and letting her skills speak louder than any shove or foul, even as her teammates struggled to keep up at times.
And that was 2011.
Melissa Smith stops. and misses the ball.
The Fever stuck to their game plan, moving the ball, creating good looks, and playing smart basketball.
Clark, another rebound, tosses ahead, Wheeler extra feed. Oh, that was pretty. What's the foul?
Meanwhile, the Sky seemed to abandon any kind of finesse, leaning fully into their physical play, almost hoping that brute force would be enough to turn things around. And sometimes they were getting away with it too.
The three takes the two and knocks it down. A lot of contact from Reese on.
In the end, none of the physical play, missed calls, or tension mattered. Only the win did. But with Nalissa Smith almost throwing the game, it was a close call.
Through, Mabry down two. Mabry loses the handle and a foul is called. A foul is called on Smith and free throws here for the Sky. Number 5 on Smith as she dove to the floor.
And that's how it went down. The Fever got the win, and the Sky set off something toxic in the league. Real quick before we get into it, if you're tired of watching them do this to her and walk away clean, hit subscribe. And if you want to show your support for Caitlin Clark, there's a Protect Caitlin Clark collection in the shop. Link in the description. This was probably one of the most intense battles Caitlin Clark faced last season. Coming off the constant bullying in the league, this was set to be Caitlin Clark's biggest challenge yet, facing off against her biggest rival, Angel Reese. And it showed more than we could have expected.
Last season. Clark, hammer. 3 Sky players coming over.
She started off hot. She blew right by Marina Mabry, driving straight to the hoop and putting the first points on the board. Right after, the defense made an adjustment, switching Kennedy Carter onto her, a familiar face, but not in a good way. As soon as Carter locked in, Caitlin was reminded of just that.
This is a Fever team that opened up 11 games in the first 20 days.
Already starting off with a foul. And on the next possession, Carter put on the pressure again, but CC found Boston who could bail her out.
Of the league. That's how good Angel Reese has been. Boston gets another touch. It blows past the Sky defense.
While Angel was throwing up bricks, Caitlin got to work. Coming off a quick screen, she found herself with just enough space to let it fly.
Find a body on Reese. Clark gets freed up.
It was set to be a fierce battle, and when they put Marina Mabry back on Caitlin, it was clear they were trying to mix things up defensively, but it turned out to be a lesson quickly learned. It was a mismatch every time they tried to guard her, no matter who the defense threw at her, and on the other end, CC wasn't lacking either. She showed off her quick hands and forced the turnover.
Allen between the legs, lost it, it's off Allen last.
Caitlin had it locked down the clean way, but the Sky weren't playing on that level. As soon as they realized they couldn't match her finesse, they reverted to contact. It was obvious they were getting frustrated, and instead of playing smart, they were trying to slow Caitlin down by any means necessary. The physical play started to take a toll, but Caitlin wasn't backing down. She wisely reverted to avoiding contact and used her court vision to find her teammates instead.
And she post feeds Aaliyah Boston. They're building their chemistry.
Caitlin read the defense like a book, making the right plays and even using her teammates as a sort of shield.
Finds some space, goes reverse style. Her first bucket since 5:51 in the first. See how she maintained her.
She was a constant threat for the Sky, and here they had their entire team guarding her. But no matter how many defenders they threw at her, Caitlin still found a way out, and the second half was no different. In transition, Caitlin was the engine, always at the lead, pushing the tempo, and her teammates followed. But when she went at the rim, guess who came in with the hard contact again?
And Carter.
So the next time, Caitlin was 2 steps ahead. A hard dribble to the basket, causing the defenders to collapse. But instead of finishing at the rim, she pulled back and hit them with a step-back 3. Even in transition, with an even number of defenders waiting for her, Caitlin still found a way. It didn't matter if the defense was set. She thrived in the chaos,
enabling them to run the basketball. Multiple players here touching the ball.
When the Sky crowded the lane, trying to block her path, Caitlin didn't flinch. She weaved through the defense and found a way to finish at the rim. But when Caitlin tried to drive through the defense again, this time, Angel Reese, clearly frustrated, wasn't having it.
Arc, hammer. 3 Sky players coming over.
The officials.
She let her emotions get the best of her and went full force on Caitlin, delivering a hard, unnecessary foul that left the crowd buzzing. The tension between the two had been building all game, and this moment was a clear sign of how much Caitlin was getting under Angel's skin. And right after, it was clear Reese still didn't get the message. On the very next play, she went after CC again. And after those back-to-back fouls, the Sky had no choice but to bring Reese out of the game. It felt like a relief for her. She had been the main target of all that aggression. But rather than celebrating, Caitlin stayed locked in, using this moment to reset and refocus. But when the fourth quarter rolled around, Angel Reese was back on the floor, ready to start her rampage again. Luckily for the Fever, Caitlin turned up the heat just when they needed it most, and immediately turning defense into offense. Caitlin wasted no time, sending a perfect dime to Aaliyah Boston, who finished strong at the rim.
10 blocks in her WNBA career, and it ends with a Boston bucket.
It was a momentum-shifting play, with Caitlin not just dominating offensively, but also impacting the game on both sides of the floor. Her block sent a message, and the assist to Boston kept the Fever's rhythm going. This was the energy they needed to handle Angel Reese's renewed aggression, and Caitlin was leading the way, determined not to let the game slip away.
Clark pulls, fires, hits, for three. A leader to her left.
Caitlin built up a solid lead, and with her constant persistence, it was clear that momentum wasn't shifting anytime soon. She stayed in control, orchestrating the offense and keeping the pressure on the Sky. With just 30 seconds left, Caitlin delivered the final blow, a laser pass that threaded through the defense, finding her teammate wide open to seal the deal.
Someone forgot about Smith.
Caitlin Clark ended the game with an impressive stat line: 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, capping off yet another one of her masterful performances. Year 2 just kicked off, and the WNBA wasted no time giving us a treat. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, a matchup that always draws a crowd, and this one didn't disappoint.
A three. And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark.
A triple-double, broken records, and a skill gap that's starting to look more like a canyon. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she made a statement.
Here's Clark firing and hitting. 20 points.
And from the jump, Caitlin wasn't backing down. She welcomed the contact and got the whistle.
Here's Clark working through some contact. Clark diving in, gets the whistle.
And after calmly knocking down the free throws, it was Angel Reese on the other end, getting to work.
Play with so much pace. It's where Caitlin Clark excelled a season ago.
Angel Reese dives in and finishes through the contact.
But her trash-talking heroics, yeah, those were quickly shut down.
Wants more of that from her, catching around that 15-foot area.
Clark connects! The first logo bomb of the season from Caitlin Clark.
Then Angel launches a three, but it's off. Caitlin answers with one of her own, and it's just short. Reese responds attacking the rim next, but gets stuffed.
Base barges in and gets denied by Boston.
Then Caitlin pushes the break, but her layup rolls off. So it's time to adjust, and Caitlin does so by sending some dimes.
Conditioning.
Maybe the broadcasters as well. Here's Howard, gets the whistle off a pretty dime from Clark.
But it was starting to become clear. Her Fever teammates weren't fully ready for those lasers yet.
On the offensive glass, but Howard comes away with it. Here is Clark. Clark feeding Boston, who can't finish. Lexi Hull comes in, grabs the rebound. She said, well, I know you guys love it. Oh, what a pass from Clark. But
luckily, her defense was enough to shut down Reese's drives. But to create real separation, her teammates needed to start finishing the plays she was setting up. And luckily for her, Lexi Hull got that message.
To Hull, here's Clark in transition. Clark, oh, what a look. And Hull lays it in.
But with Reese starting to knock down threes,
Reese will fire the three and hit from downtown. Angel.
Caitlin knew she had to take it up another notch, and that's exactly what she did.
Hitting Boston. Boston fakes and lays it in. There's that two-player chemistry.
But Reese wasn't having it. She blatantly shoved Boston in the face, trying to break up the chemistry. Still, that didn't stop Caitlin from keeping the offense flowing.
Her passing and the way that makes her a threat from so many different places on the floor. Clark, little mid-range is good. Boston gives it back. Clark to Boston, her jumper is good.
The chemistry between Caitlin and Boston was unmatched. It even felt like it gave Caitlin some wings.
Angel Reese is a very good passer.
Clark.
Some of those shots were a bit much this early on, and on the fast break, she was asking a little too much from her vets.
The fling ahead, Howard.
Still, it didn't take long before she gave the crowd exactly what they came to see.
Here's Clark, 4 seconds left. Clark fires. You bet! Clark drills the three to end the second.
The Fever entered the second half with a 13-point lead and plenty left in the tank, and they didn't waste any time putting it to use.
Fifth. Here's Clark spinning, bouncing, what a find, and Howard lays it in on a delectable dime from Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin was really putting her full playmaking arsenal on display.
Nerves, short on a three, Clark her 6th rebound. Here's Clark in transition, nice find.
Another missed layup, but luckily, Aaliyah Boston was locked in.
When especially adjusted to a new team, here's Boston. Fakes the jumper, rumbles inside, and drops it in.
While Angel was still battling to get the ball in the hoop,
Really well against the bigger Cardoso.
Reese spinning, couldn't pop it in, the O board, no. Another chance stripped away by Clark.
Caitlin was in full control, taking charge and stretching the lead.
Solid first game.
Clark looking to shake Vandersloot, step back is good. Caitlin Clark.
It had been a fierce but fairly composed game until the third quarter. The Sky bricked a three, and Reese shoved Howard in the back, going for the rebound, but no whistle. So Caitlin tried to stop the break with a take foul, but Reese took that personal.
Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark. Afterwards has something to say as Clark walks away.
After a review, the refs determined that Caitlin shoved Angel after the foul, resulting in a controversial flagrant. After the game, both players brushed it off, calling it just a common foul. But let's be real, that pot had been simmering for a while. But that little exchange clearly lit a fire. CC came out of the gate swinging.
From Hull, Clark couldn't handle it. 6 to shoot. Here's Boston, will fire a three, and hit. Clark gives it up, gets it back. Clark looking to take Williams, finds Boston inside for 2. Here is Clark pushing pace, racing up the floor. What a dime as Mitchell couldn't finish the lay.
She was up to 14, 7, and 7, and you could already feel it. Something special was brewing.
Just trying to impact winning the right way. I think over the last couple of years and having some experience losing, it made me want to win more, so just trying to impact winning.
And with her teammates running the floor in transition, it all started to come easier.
Closes in on a triple-double, 2 assists, 1 rebound away. Clark leading Mitchell for the lay, and the building is up for grabs. Clark gets it back from Boston. Now bounces to her. Boston drops it in.
That was her 10th assist, putting her just 1 rebound away from a triple-double in her Year 2 opener. A truly historic moment in the making. But before sealing the triple-double, she had more to show, from way beyond the arc.
Here's Clark firing and hitting. 20 points for Caitlin Clark.
And her vet, Dewana Bonner, had history to make of her own, breaking a scoring record and becoming 3rd on the WNBA's all-time scoring list.
She has tied Tina Thompson for 3rd on the all-time scoring list. And Dewana Bonner sits alone in 3rd place on the all-time WNBA scoring list.
And when Caitlin grabbed that final rebound, she sealed it.
Down. There it is! A triple-double for Caitlin Clark. The 3rd of her career, and she starts 2025 with a triple-double.
And just one look at the final score, this tells you everything. The Sky didn't stand a chance. The Fever are looking like a powerhouse this season. And if this is how they're starting, the rest of the WNBA better be ready. Tonight, Caitlin Clark faced Angel Reese for the first time in months. And of course, it got physical.
Take a look, yep. Angel Reese with a hold there.
However, by the end of the night, Clark had shut her up once again.
Oh, sidestep Clark. Set.
5 days earlier, she put up her worst game in the W, 1 of 7 from the floor, 6 points in a 20-point loss to Portland that had the entire internet writing her off. But tonight, she ended the night with one of her best floor games of her career. And on the very first possession she touched the ball tonight, she drove into the paint and delivered a no-look bounce pass to her teammate cutting along the baseline for an easy finish.
Clark dump off the hole in the lane, puts it in.
And then she went right at Howard in isolation, created space with a step back at the free throw line, and buried the mid-range jumper to tie the game at 6. But the Portland ghost was not gone yet, because her next 3 from the right wing clanged off the rim, then a logo attempt from the left wing drew nothing but iron.
This is Clark, too strong.
And when she tried to attack the rim off a screen, Okot rose up and swatted the ball away, and the Atlanta bench celebrated like they had already won the night.
Screen, Clark to the right, blocked by Okot.
The rookie's moving. I like it. Moving.
And on the other end, her oldest rival was waiting for her physically, because Reese came right at her on defense and put a body into her, with the officials looking the other way.
Season. This is a good look for Hillman. Whistle blows.
And it wasn't only Reese, because on a drive into the paint, the contact was clear. The officials had nothing for her, and she had to argue the no call right in front of them. Because on top of the narrative and the misses, her body was fighting her too. Reports confirmed she threw up near the bench before the second half and still walked back onto the floor.
Right, so before the second half got started, Caitlin Clark, after putting up shots, headed to the bench and started to actually throw up. She appears good to go and is playing through. Grady?
However, there is a version of her that does not need the shot to fall. And when the double teams came, she read them instantly and found her teammate cutting to the basket for a clean finish.
Sees a double, gave it up to Mitchell. Mitchell hits the accelerator, puts it up and in.
She lost the ball on a drive into the paint the very next time down, and instead of hanging her head, she turned around with the calmest look on her face like the moment meant nothing to her. But on the very next possession, she stood on the baseline with the inbound, spotted her teammate slicing through the lane, and threaded the pass for an easy bucket underneath. And then her own shots started falling, because off a handoff on the right wing, she buried a 3 with a defender draped on her, pushing the lead to 18-15.
Clark got some space, bottoms.
Atlanta clawed back and took a 43-42 lead heading into the middle of the third quarter. And every narrative from the week was sitting right there waiting if the Fever collapsed. But she grabbed the ball in transition and drove right into the teeth of the defense before dropping it off to her teammate under the rim for the go-ahead bucket, 44-43.
Dump off, Boston, yes!
And on the very next defensive possession, she pulled the rebound down herself, pushed it up the floor, and launched a sidestep 3 from the top of the key that stretched the lead to 4.
Oh, sidestep Clark, set!
And from there, the floodgates opened, because in transition, she spotted her teammate streaking through the paint and delivered the pass in stride for another easy finish at the rim.
Clark quickly, a dime, Mitchell the lane!
She went right back at Howard in isolation for the second time, drove to the free throw line, rose into a fadeaway over the same defender, and put 2 more on the board.
It has to be an offensive threat when she catches it off a double team.
Clark off 1 foot.
In transition again, she found her teammate cutting through the paint for another finish. And by now, the assists were piling up like a statement all on their own.
Possession for Atlanta, Boston got free inside.
And then it was her turn to finish, because her teammate found her on the wing with a quick pass. And she drove coast to coast and scored at the rim to push the lead to 8.
More efficient for the field.
Clark off the feed from Boston.
The connection between her and her teammates was flowing in every direction, and the replays told a story of 2 players who see each other before the defense even rotates. She kept distributing, running the triangle, and finding her teammate cutting under the basket, drawing a foul on the play and putting Atlanta in deeper trouble.
Stops over to Clark, touch pass, Hull inside, and Hull is fouled.
Yet, the thing about this game was that she was not just orchestrating the offense, because on defense, she picked up a foul she did not agree with and let the officials hear about it.
Double foul.
But instead of letting the frustration carry her, she locked in on the perimeter and denied everything, staying in front of her matchup until the shot clock expired and the building roared.
Cross. Pow nowhere to go. Suffocating defense from Indiana.
Atlanta finished with 71 points, their lowest total of the entire season, and she was on the floor competing for every single one of those stops. And in the fourth quarter, she took the ball from one end of the floor to the other, crossed over a defender, and finished with her left hand at the rim to push the lead to 11.
Time left in this one. Clark going at Howard. Clark!
And on the very next possession, she drove into the paint again, collapsed the defense, and kicked it out to her teammate standing alone in the left corner for a made three that blew the roof off.
Outside to Cunningham.
She drove to the basket one more time and baited the foul so cleanly that she came up smiling, fists in the air, knowing the game was already over before the free throws even left her hands.
Fouled by Canada, and Clark with the sarcastic celebration.
Atlanta challenged the call, and the challenge failed, and you could see her standing at the line with the look of someone who had answered every single question the week threw at her. She pulled down one more defensive rebound, pushed it up the floor, and drew another foul, because even with the game decided she was still competing like the score was tied.
That's not the percentage you want.
And this time, she stepped to the line and buried both free throws, pushing the lead to 13 with a minute left and nothing else to prove. She grabbed one last defensive rebound with a minute on the clock, because even the final possession of a 12-point win belonged to her. 17 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. And afterwards, she called it one of the best floor games she has played in the W. Tonight was supposed to be Caitlin Clark's night. She debuted her very own Nike signature shoe, the Caitlin ones. So of course, Angel Reese had to copycat her. Then she and the Dream spoiled the night even worse. And the refs gave them a push in the back.
Clark driving into Howard, layup too strong. Billings had it, lost it, and loose ball foul.
Atlanta shot 32 free throws. Caitlin barely got to the line, but that didn't stop her.
Free up Clark, extra pass, Billings, back for Clark, fire away, and hits a three!
And she came out looking like the shoe fit just right, finding Hull on the very first possession.
Hull catch and shoot, she connects.
Hard cuts early, Indiana look.
You could feel it immediately. She was not easing into this one.
Clark weaves through traffic and gets right to the rim. Shooters in the corner.
And when Atlanta tried to body her early, she welcomed the contact.
Clark in those brand new Caitlin 1 sneakers. You know she wants to put on a show here tonight as Hillman is hit with the...
She was setting up defenders all night, and then she pulled the entire defense out of position.
Bouncing, trying to free up Clark, extra pass.
She cleared herself out to the right wing, and Atlanta had no idea she was coming back for it.
Away, and hits a three.
And when the jumper was falling like that, the driving lanes opened up too.
In front, Clark spinning off a pow and lays it in.
Boston found her on the handoff, and she made Ryan Howard pay.
Clark on a side step and knocks it down for the mid-range.
She was cooking from every spot on the floor, and then she went into the bag for something filthy.
Clark flips it up and draws the foul.
Yeah, smart. And she knew she had an advantage.
Pow bit on everything. 2 shots at the line, and she buried both.
Clark knocks down her.
And when the defense collapsed, she wielded that magic, threading it right through traffic.
Drives on Howard, had that pass deflected right into the hands of Cunningham, who of course hits the three.
You gotta be kidding.
But then the whistle started going the other way. She picked up a foul defending Howard.
What a streak.
I mean, when the basketball gods are on your side.
She did not let the foul calls slow her down though. 2 defenders flew at her, and she carved them up anyway.
Away from Howard, Boston hits the three, and her red-hot season from the perimeter.
But right there, foul number 2 landed on her, and the clock on her night started ticking.
In 15 games.
She only made 17 in the first 3 seasons of her career.
After she drew a foul, Angel Reese turned and mocked her. Cartoonish, disrespectful, and all of it with a smirk. But she did not say a word back. She just let her game do the talking.
Clark probing and hits it over Ocox.
And when Cunningham swung it to the left wing, she was already set.
Clark knocks down a 3.
She was rolling. And on the next drive, she attacked and drew contact again.
Clark putting on the moves, draws the foul. Now she's arguing it should be and one. It'll be free throws either way.
She went to the line wanting more, but she only got 2 shots. And then, just like that, foul number 3. On a call against Canada that sent her to the bench.
But gets the foul call, and it's on Clark, and it's her 3rd.
She came back and attacked again and drew the contact. The whistle came late, way too late.
Clark going behind the back, working on Borlays. Hand off Harris, back for Clark. Has Ocott on her, and Clark draws the foul. Just too aggressive. And really unnecessary by Ocott there.
That's a foul, and that's a foul.
And you could feel it rattling her. 2 free throws at the line, and the frustration showed.
Shooting 56% from the field, as Clark misses another free throw.
She needed to take matters into her own hands. No whistle, no problem.
Here's Clark, who banks it in.
Quickly up the floor.
And she was seeing the floor in transition like a quarterback.
The game with their defense.
Clark Billings runs the floor and lays it in.
And look at the shot they get.
That outlet pass hit Billings in perfect stride.
Just a really good pass right here. Billings, 2 hands, goes up strong, finishes with the left.
And then came the play that defined this game. She drove hard to the rim, took heavy contact, and the refs swallowed the whistle.
Clark driving into Howard, layup too strong. Billings had it, lost it in a loose ball foul.
That is a foul in every league on the planet. But not tonight. She did not pout. She answered the only way she knows how, finding Boston cutting before the defense even blinked.
Clark feed inside, it's to Boston for 2.
Really good job of isolating Boston.
And when they kept leaving her open, she made them pay in the worst possible way.
And it's fouled on the 3.
She put the defender on the ground and still knocked it down. 3 free throws coming.
Week.
Some full court pressure here with this lineup on the floor. Do something, you gotta change the defensive rhythm.
She was in a full flow state. Nothing was going to slow her down. Nothing except the refs.
She's playing well without getting another foul.
Lead back to 13. Clark reverse, gets it to go. That was a tough angle.
And off the steal, she took it coast to coast and drew yet another foul.
2. Clark right up the middle and draws the foul.
2 more at the line. 2 more made. She was carrying everything.
Caitlin Clark, eyes to the rim.
But then the whistle turned on her again. Foul number 4, defending Hillman in the paint.
Lob inside for Hillman, and Clark is called for the foul. So Hillman will head to the line with both teams in the penalty.
And on the very next drive, she took it strong to the basket again.
But none in the second half.
Dealt with those 4 early fouls. She's played 21 minutes here tonight. Clark driving on Hillman.
Contact from Hillman again. And again, nothing. 2 drives, 2 no calls, heavy contact both times. And yet every touch foul going the other way found a whistle instantly.
Here tonight, 19 points. And Canada draws the foul on the other end. And how many times have we seen her do this?
And then it happened. Foul number 5. She was done.
5th foul on Caitlin Clark.
Great hands by Boston on this end.
Forced to the bench in the 4th quarter of a game she was carrying. And while she sat, Atlanta went on a run and blew the game open. The refs took her off the floor, and there was nothing she could do about it. She finally got back with under 4 minutes left, but by then, the damage was done.
Howard drives on Clark, steps through and lays it in.
And even when she was back, she could not play real defense. One more foul and she was gone for good. She still tried. She still drove and conjured one more open look for Boston.
To Boston, back for Clark. Clark up top, Boston hoists, misses, rebound Reese. And that should just about do it.
And that was it. The window closed.
Side, it won't fall. Reese the rebound, the Fever will let the clock tick away. Indiana over.
Caitlin Clark finished with 26 points, 7 assists, and shot 8 of 17 from the field. Even debuted her signature shoe. She gave this game everything she had. But 5 fouls took her off the floor. 2 blatant no calls took away her momentum. Atlanta pulled away while she watched from the bench, and Angel Reese stood there and mocked her for it. She called out the refs point blank after this game. A WNBA legend backed her up. The whole league saw it. This rivalry with Reese and this war with the whistle are far from over. A WNBA record 55th straight game with at least 5 assists, 15 games longer than anyone in history. The Fever did not deserve what she gave them. She carried them, and what came next was on everyone but her. But before all of that, there was a rivalry to settle.
Here's Clark. Clark sidestepping three. It is good. Right over Reese.
The matchup the whole league wanted to see was right there on the pregame graphic, and the first time she got Reese on an island, she made her pay immediately.
Clark sidestepping three. It is good. Right over Reese.
That shot told Atlanta everything they needed to know, and they still could not stop what came next.
Clark takes the three on the drive, able to lay it in. Gorgeous take from Caitlin Clark.
She was moving too fast for the Dream to keep up cleanly.
Clark with 5 points in the early going and gets fouled there by Canada.
The free points were nice, but she was just getting warmed up from deep.
After the gather, Clark, catch, fire, you bet! Caitlin Clark.
That was 2 threes on the night, and the third one came even quicker.
Double. Clark launches and connects. She's on a first quarter burst.
She had 11 points in the first quarter and was feeling it, maybe a little too much.
Going the other direction.
Clark launching again, missed that one. Her first miss of the day.
The shot did not fall, so she got it back on the other end.
Looks off and off of that baseline back cut.
Here's Pow, lost it. Clark on the steal.
The deflection stung, but she still had the best eyes on the court.
Finds the cutter, it's Boston center the lane for the soft finish, and the foul.
3 assists in the first quarter alone, and she was not done scoring either.
Clark on the drive, skates free to lay it in.
How beautifully did she navigate that? She got...
The Fever were up by 7 heading into the second, and she was running the floor like a point guard possessed.
Clark lobbing it in, and a foul called on Howard. As Ryan.
Indiana pushed the lead to 11, 44-33, their biggest of the night, and for a moment it felt safe. That foul was a crack in the armor, and the next possession showed the pressure was building.
71%. Clark fires, can't hit. Long rebound, Orlays.
The miss stung, and on the other end, she got whistled again, trying to make a play on the ball.
Rebound for Atlanta. Clark gets called for the foul, and that's going to be number 2.
2 fouls, a missed 3, and the lead was shrinking, but she was not backing down on either end.
Here's Clark. Has it taken away, trying to get it back, and a jump ball is called.
She forced the miss, grabbed the board, and then the whistle took it away.
See it here as Caitlin's driving down the left side. Yeah, just swipe down and then get on the floor for the ball.
The refs were not giving her anything easy, so she decided to take it herself.
Better spacing on the floor.
Clark drives in, reverses it home, plus the foul. And
Tina Charles caught her across the arm, and she still finished. That is 20 points in the first half. She was carrying the scoring load, but she could feel her teammates getting open.
In Atlanta, Mitchell connects on the 3.
That was 5 assists on the night, and the passing kept coming.
Draws 2, finds Cunningham, her 3 is good.
The defense collapsed every time she drove and every time she found the open shooter.
Drive, kicks it out. Johnson connects on the three.
By halftime, the numbers told a story that should have been a blowout win. But the third quarter was where everything fell apart, and it started immediately.
Here's Clark, snaking it into Boston, and out of bounds.
The turnovers were piling up, so she stopped trusting the pass and took matters into her own hands.
Shakes, drives, and lays it in. Boy, her hesitation.
She was willing this team to stay in it, one solo possession at a time.
Clark separates, step back, and buries it. 8 of 10 from the floor.
24 points now, and she was still dishing when the defense gave her a window.
Dishing, Hines Allen hitting on the jumper.
She could feel the game slipping, and she tried to wrestle it back from 35 feet.
Clark launches short. Cole battling for the rebound.
The shot was not there, and the next possession was not either.
Clark gets some space, rips it out, and Mitchell couldn't handle it. Clark probably would have been better.
Indiana's offense was falling apart around her, every pass meeting a dead end.
Wait to hear that sit down that you had with
55 straight games with at least 5 assists, 15 more than anyone in WNBA history, and she did it on a body that was breaking down.
5 turnovers in this.
The turnovers were eating her alive, 7 on the night, but she kept attacking like the deficit was personal.
Downhill in a blur will lay it in. 21 points for Kate.
26 points now, and she was scrapping for every single one of them.
Mitchell can't hit. Boston battling, winning.
But the deficit was double digits and growing, and the desperation showed.
Here's Clark firing away. Can't hit the three.
The threes were not falling, so she put her head down and went right at Howard.
Boston on the bench in foul trouble. Clark on the drive gets hooked. And fouled by Howard.
And then came the sequence that told you everything about this night.
Doesn't get the whistle or the make. Here comes
Canada bodied her on the drive and the refs swallowed the whistle. And then Reese decided to add her own message.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Reese.
She got up, said nothing, and answered the only way she knows how.
Clark on the drive into the paint, separates and spins it in. 25 points for...
Even the technical free throw felt like a statement. But the lead was gone, the comeback was gone, and there was nothing left to do but watch it end. And the stat split told the whole story of why. Caitlin Clark finished with 26 points on 11 of 18 shooting, 61% from the field, 3 of 7 from deep, 7 assists, and a WNBA record 55th consecutive game with at least 5 assists. She outscored Angel Reese 26-18 on a body that could barely hold together. She carried them, made history, played through pain, and got nothing in return. Hit that subscribe button, because when this team finally catches up to her, it is going to be scary.